when I first started, when God tapped me on the shoulder and woke me up to some of the things that's going on in the world regarding religion, regarding politics, and regarding a whole lot of things. He gave me some glasses, and God only gives a few people those glasses, and when you put those glasses on, there's a few things that come with rules. Um, One of the most important things with those one of those rules is you can no longer look at things the what they supposed to be. You look at them for what they are. Two, and this is one of the hardest parts. You can't make nobody else put those glasses on. As a matter of fact, you can't do it. Now, what you can do is allow them to borrow your vision. What I mean by that, you give them a lot of facts, point them in the right direction, but God have to give them glasses. So that's the second rule, and it's one of the hard ones. You can make nobody else put those glasses on. And one of the third rules is once you put them glasses on, you can't take them off. And so I began to look at a lot of things different. Like politics is something I never was involved in, never really had no knowledge or education of it. I got off into that. And of course, religion. I was raised in religion. But it was kind of like secondary for my parents. But I actually started getting serious about it around that time. And another thing that really start because I was a part of the nigga nonsense. I want to be clear. I was a part of the nigga nonsense. But once you pulled out of that nigga nonsense, you got those glasses on now. You can see. You begin to question a lot of things. Now, like I said, most people are not going to get these glasses. Most people are not going to accept it. Now, you can, some people will be able to buy on to your vision, but for the most part, a lot of people just gonna stay. They never. They. It's just not. It's not in the creators' plan. Why I don't know, but it's not in the creators' plan for them to wake up. Their mind has been seared with a hot iron on their beliefs, no matter how dumb or ridiculous they may be. But one of the main issues I start to wonder why a lot of things go wrong in the black community. I asked older people, I did research, and I was trying to find out where did things go wrong. I was trying to find out where exactly did things go wrong. And the civil rights movement was one of the big mistakes that happened to the blacks. And if you want to hear me expound more on that, hit the link in my bio. I have videos on why I feel that the civil rights movement was a big mistake. Um, but I start to wonder some things. I start to just wonder, when did it become cool to just get abortions, and when did it become cool for fathers not to be in the home, and for women to, and I'm not even gonna bring women up because everything is on the man. Well, the black community will not be fixed until the black man take control. So I'm not gonna start doing the woman thing. It's none of their fault, right? The women is gonna be who they are, right? And it's not. They gonna be who they are. They gonna do what they do, and when they blow up in their face, they gonna cry victim. That's understood, and that's one half, and the other half gonna go get 60 degrees and feel like that's her husband and that's her children, that's her life. So all that these do it with these channels, bashing the black woman. You might as well leave the black woman alone. What you need to do is you need to empower yourself with knowledge. Do what you need to do as a black man, and the black woman gonna come. She'll come back. Because you see now a lot of them dating white men now. But they'll come back. And the ones that is dating black men, or however the situation is, whatever you want to say about the black woman is going to fix herself when the black man empowers himself, and it's going to put a demand on them to either get on our level or stay at the bottom. And I'm almost positive they're not going to want to stay there. So they'll come on our level. They'll get to our level. Right now, because at this point, they really don't respect, not all. And like I said, I always have to say that because they got people. Now, my channel's small at the moment, but it's going to be a great channel one day, a big channel one day, and it's going to help a lot of people because I'm a solutions-based, solution-oriented person. I'm not a guy coming on here bashing blacks. I'm not a guy coming on here bashing women. I'm not a guy coming on here bashing anybody. This is a pro-truth channel geared toward the black community to help us, the people who want help, because a lot of us don't want help. And I'm going to get into all that. I got some exhibits I'm going to play. I got some pictures I'm gonna show. I got a whole bunch of things that I'm gonna go along with this message that I'm about to relay. Now, going back to what I was saying, I was trying to find out where did things go wrong. I was looking to different communities, the conscious community, the Pan-African community, even the black conservative community. The black conservative community is one of the ones that I kind of gravitated to, because I like a lot of things that they said, but I started realizing something about the black conservative community, and this is not all people in the black conservative movement, but a lot of people. A lot of these black conservatives, they were nerds at one particular time, and we all know that in the black community, if you're a nerd, how you're treated. And so a lot of them, you can look at them and see that they never was a part of black culture. They always was a nerd. And so now they found a platform where they can get on and gripe toward black people and just tear down black people. Now, do I agree that sometimes the constructive criticism that comes from black conservative is great. I support it. Not it is a fine line between constructive criticism and bashing. I have did my own hard self-criticism that may have came off as hard sometimes, but you got to understand that black people are in a deep, 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 deep sleep. And and using the analogy of sleep, when somebody is in a deep sleep, you can't just call their name, scream their name. You can't even tap them. You got to grab them and shake them, and that's just how much of a stupor and deep sleep that the black community, most of us, are in. So do I support sometime constructive criticism that may come off as bashing, may come off as harsh? Yes, we are a hard people. Listen to our music. We are hard people. The thing that we've been through in this country, we are a hard people. So you got to deal with us hard. You got to deal with people how you deal with people. The scriptures say be all things for all people. You might have to reach somebody like this. You might have to reach somebody like that different. But for the most part, a lot of the black conservatives, like I say, because out of all of the things that's supposed to be pro-black, meaning to better the black community, out of all the movement, I seem to resonate with the black conservative movement more. But I'm starting to notice, and I'm not going to name, but I'm starting to notice there's a lot of black conservatives that what they do is they just want to verbally beat up the black community. And Lord knows the black community do not help, because they give them ammunition all day, every day. But I wanted to speak on a few things, and in this video, I think I want to say, I'm not sure, but I think I'm gonna file this under "Are you a good parent?" Because in our community, we have a lot of problems, we have a lot of issues, and if you've heard any of my messages, if you go look at the link in my description, you will see that in a lot of my lectures, I use the analogy of the house, that the black community is the house. Police brutality, white supremacy, systemic racism, all that foolishness, that is like the leaky faucet in a house. Fatherless homes, the way we kill each other at an alarming rate. We account for 50% of all crime in America when we only 13% of the population. Abortion, hell, we done killed a whole generation of black babies in the womb. Those things are the fire in the bedroom. So if you got a house, which one would you be more worried with? Yes, the leaky faucet is an issue. It can be annoying. It can bring the water bill up, but it's not that big of a problem. But that fire in the bedroom, if you don't take care of it as soon as possible, it'll burn the whole house down. And like I said, the black community is the house in that analogy. Those are the things that we need to focus on. Yes, generational wealth, financial literacy, all that stuff that we need to focus on. But the first and foremost thing that we need to focus on, matter of fact, the number one thing that we need to focus on, because this would kill a lot of other things, and that's bringing back the nuclear family in the black community. 70%. That number is too big. That number is entirely too big. 70%. That means way over half. Almost. That's way over half. That's almost 3/4 of black community, and 3/4 households in the black community being raised by a single mother. Listen, bro, that is so asinine and unacceptable. And that's the first thing, because if we worked on bringing back the nuclear family, getting married, having a family, that would alleviate abortion. Now, and it would alleviate a lot of black on black crime, because you would have children raised up in homes that's not so overly emotional. This is why these crime is happening like that, because these children is so overly emotional, because they raised by their mama, their grandmother, and all women are is emotion. Men are discipline and structure, right? And so when you being raised by a single mother, not to mention that a lot of these single mothers are angry, so they put anger in a child and overly emotion. Emotion and anger equals murder. That's what that equals in most situations, and that's why the black community is in ruins. That's why black on black crime is at an alarming all-time rate. Because why is that? 70% of us don't have a father. So all we know is mama anger. Because see, these black women, I've dated them. They're angry. A lot of them angry. And like I said, once again, black man, this is your fault. This ain't a talk about the black. This is your fault, black man, for leaving your responsibilities. And if you say, well, and for the brothers who didn't leave their responsibility, they were just quote unquote having them a good time without a rubber, you too. You in this, you even worse. It's your fault, black man, and these women, and listen, some of these black women, they was been mad since children. Why is that? Because they didn't have a father. So once again, it falls back on the black man. Black man, you are the problem, and you are the solution. It's not the black woman the black woman is not gonna solve any problems in the black community. The black woman is once again going to keep doing what she doing. Either she gonna be a baby mama and continue to bring illegitimate children in with degenerates, listening to Suki Hana go on her way to work, or she gonna be the other black woman, which is the overly educated, sedity black woman. That's the only two black women you have in the black community. Is a small percentage of God-fearing black women who they full of the Holy Spirit, and they believe in the values of the Bible. They believe in the values of God. It's a small percentage of them, but the larger percentages is in the other two categories that I just said. So you don't have to look toward them to change anything. So these dudes who make these channels and these podcasts about the black woman doing what she doing because she's still getting by doing it. The black woman got OnlyFans and she on Instagram twerking, and the black rappers rap about what they rap about because they're getting money for it and they getting attention from men. If all black men just stop dealing with them until they get their ish together, until they clear their mind right, until they do the right thing and start conducting themselves like Proverb 31 women, they not gonna change. So you can make all the podcasts. You can do all the bashing women you want to do. You wasting your time. You might get clicks and likes and support, but you're not helping nobody. Because the black woman is not gonna change until you change, black man. Right? And so let's go into it. So you look at these children today, right? Once again, and and that's why I'm making this video, because this is my video. Are you a good parent? I'm going to play a few situations for y'all, a few exhibits. And these are children. I'm not justifying what they doing. But these are children. And I got two videos I'm going to play. They kind of got a little length on both of them. They probably under 20 minutes both combined. But if you listen to me this far, I'm sure you're interested in seeing what these videos about. And so, both of these videos, and after I show you these children, these exhibits of the children, I'm going to show you who raising them. Right? Because, and going back to what I was saying, when I joined the black, I was listening to I was trying to find a group that I can be a part of that was so-called trying to help the black community. And, like I said, the black conservatives, most of them was nerds. Most of them was, they wasn't accepted by the black community. So they using their platform to bash black people and to talk about black people and to quote unquote get back at black people for the way they was treated by black people. Because we know black people can be tough. Don't get it twisted now. Especially if you come up in the hood like me or went to black schools. But then you sit back and you look at certain things and you say to yourself, like I say, I'm about to show y'all, you look at a lot of these children, and once again, 70% of them was born without a father, so they didn't even get a chance. They didn't even get a chance. And some of these women, they have children, they don't care about who they reproduce with. They just want a child. They just want a child, because they just want a child because they know it's somebody who gonna always love them. They want a child like we want, like normal people want a pet, but they want a child for that. Some of them want a child for help because they know once they have a child, they gonna get more income tax. They gonna get food stamp. They gonna get Section 8. They gonna get help from the government, right? But before there's a lot of them having children to love. They don't love these children. I know this for a fact. I'm not speaking about all, but I'm speaking about most. And the reason why I know that is because if you love your child, you're going to bring your child in this world with a plan. If you living in poverty, living with your mama, living in poverty, barely making it, and you bring a child into that world, you don't love that child. You don't love that child. You got plans to use that child, but you don't love that child. And guess what? Like I said, black man, I'm blaming you. But black woman, you got to take a piece of that pie, because guess what? I don't support abortion and I don't approve abortion. But you can alleviate it. Now, the condom bust, but really, you shouldn't be having sex out of wedlock, number one. But if you're going to have sex out of wedlock, right, which I do not support, make the dude use a condom. If he use a condom and it busts and something happen, which is most of these situations, I'm speaking on an anomaly, because most of these situations is done with intent. He wants some raw sex, she want a relationship, and she want a baby. Which is, we all know that baby don't keep no man, but these women still playing the same game. They have a baby with a dude who got 3-4 of the baby mama, but they expect him to treat her right and be with her. Like, I just don't get it, but I do get it. Because like I said, I always say, the solution is not going to come from the black woman. Not bashing her, not talking about her, just rectifying the truth when I say that. It's not going to come from her, right? She is going to be what she is going to be until you, black man, change the paradigm, right? And so these children are brought in the world, and the mama don't care if the man stay, because guess what? She get to reap all the benefits. And this is why our black community, another situation why we're in the black community, I'm gonna make a video about that too, cause I feel like some of the black community is cursed, bro, for the stuff that they have did and the way they didn't turn away from God. They turn into all these other foolishness, the ancestors, the stones, the Corey, and all this dumb universe and all this foolishness. So a lot of black people are under curse, but not just so much of that. The thing that they do, they bring these children in the world with evil intent. Some of them bring the children in the world just to use them against the father. And then what happens is, they punch. Well, one thing in life, bro, whatever energy you put out there, it's going to come back to you. Whether it come back to you now or 10 years from now, hell, it may come back to your children. But whatever energy that is put out there, it's going to return, dog. And so a lot of these women having these babies for the evil intent, 70% of our community have fathers, is fatherless home. That's not no coincidence. That's not no accident. It's some malice in that. And so what happens is, other people in the world gotta suffer for your evilness, and you gonna suffer too if you're not already suffering. But because a lot of them losing their children to death, to prison, and all kind of other stuff, they curse for the reason they brought these children in the world. Sometimes the children is cursed. The curse can come however it come. That's for God to decide. But these are, and then people in the world, and I'm about to play y'all some videos. People in the world has to deal with your mistakes. Ain't nobody need to worry about me and my kid. Okay, but your kids are causing chaos in the community, on the job, wherever they go, they causing chaos, because that's what was bred into them as a child. Chaos. Angry mother imposing her will on the children. And now the children are filled with anger and chaos, and they overly emotional. And all that in the pot equals murder, prison time, drug dealing, selling poison to your own people, just doing completely foolish things. You got Ja Morant. I made a video about him. You got this guy who come up in a 2-parent home, um, and did everything right. His parent did everything right, and now he in the league making millions of dollars. But because the culture says you just gotta, if you black, you gotta be a gangster. You gotta do this. You gotta do. He is ruining his career by doing stupid stuff. Because why is that? Our culture, the black culture as a whole, is chaotic, demoralized, and it starts in the home. And even if your children is mixing with these children, that's why I got a video also on why you should pick your children friend. See, Ja Morant, I guarantee you them dudes he hanging with come from single parent homes. It's no way he hanging with dudes that come from fathers' homes and got morals, discipline, and structure, and allowing him to ruin his career. And not so much as ruin his career, but ruin money, ruin the bad. Man, ain't nobody gonna want to. A lot of people gonna take their endorsement back from him, and a lot of people not gonna give him the endorsement because of the mistake that he currently making. Well, that's off the subject. I digress. Getting back to the situation. And so you have these children. This brother here that I'm about to let y'all listen to, he got a good thing that he said in the video that I agree with that they should do. When your children going to school acting the way these children is doing, they should put those children out of school and let you raise them. And a lot of time, these women can't raise their children. Why is that? Because they can't teach their children. Why is that? Because they work in double shift. Because they had children out of wedlock with the wrong person, a trapper, a scammer, a nigga in criminal activities. So he's out being a degenerate, dead, or in prison, and you raising the children by yourself. And yeah, you reaping all these financial benefits. But at the end of the day, your child is angry, one, because they don't have a 2-parent home. And that's what they supposed to have. Their spirit is always yearning for the other spirit that made them besides you. Number 2, they not getting no structure or discipline in the home. And when the discipline do come, is after they done something so heinous, and the discipline don't come balanced. They come overly emotional, because that's what women all about. And anger. Because the mama, most of the time, the single parent, because life is hard as a single parent, man. That ain't easy, bro. Raising no child on your own. And guess what? So they angry, so that anger is going into them. And they go to school and do that to the teachers, do that to the other kids. So, like this brother said, he came up with a remedy. When those children are acting like that, don't suspend them, after a certain amount of time, make them stay home and let the parents deal with them. But they can't do that. Because a lot of these parents send their children to school because the school is a parent for them. The school is co-parenting with them. And really the school is more of a parent than they is. You should have seen for the pandemic, man. They was happy. They was mad. Not so much because the children couldn't go to school because COVID. I mean, not because COVID. They was mad because they had to be in the house with these children all day. And the next thing, when these children in the house all day, you got to spend more money to feed them all throughout the day. If they in school, they get 2 free lunches they get lunch at school. So all you gotta really worry about is dinner and maybe a snack. These mothers was mad, but if they was in households, right, being in a rightful order, being a mother and a wife, while the husband go out make money and take care of the family because they picked the right man, a lot of that stress wouldn't be on them and they wouldn't be so angry. But because they didn't bought into the feminism, get your education, find a man later, or liberate yourself, have sex with as many men as you want, or you don't need no man to raise a woman. You can do it on your own. Go get educated, go get overly educated. All that does not work, and the black woman have seen. And like I said, reason why I'm speaking on the black, I know people love to bring up other races. I don't care about other races. And what I mean by I don't care about other races, I'm not focused on what they doing inside their community unless it is affecting me. They gonna take care of what they need to take care of. I'm a black man and I represent my people, right? To get that out of the way. And so, and none of them. And the crazy thing about it is the white liberal who push all these ideologies, and the black woman buy into them because she want to be she's so power obsessed. So the black woman buying all these liberal ideologies, feminism, liberation, all this here, and she buy into them, and it hurts them. But it don't hurt the white woman and the black and the Chinese woman and all these other women because I'm gonna say the liberal white woman because that's the one. The liberal white man, the liberal white woman is pushing these ideologies on black women. And once again, black women is so power obsessed until they buying into it, not knowing that it's gonna hurt them in the long run. Not gonna hurt those white liberals because they know the importance of family and they gonna keep their family together. But they gonna tell you, black woman and black, they gonna tell you, black woman, listen, liberate yourself, girl. Have sex till you find the right one, girl. If he worry about your body count, girl, he don't love you, girl. Get your education and empower yourself, girl. Ain't no man need to be over you, girl. You equal to a man, girl. But they don't do. I remember I got a home girl. She married. She black. She married. And I remember one day she made a Facebook post of a plate of food, and the caption said, "Hubby plate fixed. Now I'm tired and ready to go to bed." Or something along those lines. And they had a white woman, right? A white woman who went in her comment section and said, "Girl, you should have let him find his own plate. You tired." That's what they do. But you go on her page and guess what? She got her and her husband and they just as happy. And again, she not going to tell him that, but she going to tell that to the black woman. And like I say, most of these black women are so power obsessed and don't have no brain and don't respect the masculine principle. They accept that foolishness from the liberal whites. When you see these black people, all these black people, even from Barack Obama all the way down to your look, these liberal blacks are empowered by the liberal white. Because he know, the liberal white know, I'm going to use them to confuse they people. I mean, they people is so lost right now that they'll listen for anything. So we going to use Barack Obama to push the homosexual agenda. Because we know that the black people, just because he black, they gonna support him. Right? Just because he black, they gonna support him. And the white people can't say nothing because they racist if they say something. So we gonna use him out of all other president. We gonna use the black president. Yeah, so yeah, let's get him in office. White liberals put Obama in office, not blacks. And now he didn't unleash this homosexual agenda on America. Homosexual spirit over America that is growing by the day. Right? And so, going back to what I was saying about the children, these children, this is what they getting out of the home. So in these videos I'm about to play you, this is the children. And after I play the video of the children, I'm going to show you the parents of these type of children. Right? What are the parents doing, how they reacting, and why. Like I said, I've already said why. Because the parents in the home, single parents, and they got nothing but anger and overly emotional. And that's what they putting in the children, the women, the little boys and the little girls. And like I say, before I go let this video play, the brother made a good remedy at the end of the video. When those children are acting like that, they need to be expelled for life. Let the parents raise them. That's your problem. Let him tear up your house while you at work working doubles. Because once again, you don't have a husband because you worry about your education, or you just want to be your baby mama, twerk on cars, and just get pregnant by random degenerates. You like thugs. And speaking about the thug, a lot of dudes say, well, black women like thugs. No, it's not that they like thugs. It's because the thug is an agent of chaos, the quote-unquote bad boy, whatever you want to call him. He's an agent of chaos. And the black woman who likes him, she's an agent of chaos. So is a kindred spirit, number one. Number two, why she like a thug? Because she knows that a thug is not going to be around long. She knows that he's not going to be around long. And she can because the liberal black woman loves variety, right? So she like the thug because she know he's not going to be around long, whether it be dead or prison. And she'll be able to take his seed if he reproduce with her and move on to the next guy and have his children around anybody. But she know he won't be in her life long the whole, because she don't like monotony, meaning the same. She wants something new. So eventually she gonna want another thug. So she know if she date a thug, he not gonna be around long. He gonna be in prison or he gonna be dead. If he in prison, she get to jose him and have fun and get those little sweet letters while having sex with another man in front of that man kid or around that man kid. And the third reason why the liberal woman likes the thug is because she got a reason to blame him if anything go wrong. If the relationship go bad, anything wrong, she gonna say, well, he was doing this, he was doing that, and that's why I had to leave him alone. When he was doing that, when you got with him, that's what actually attracted you to him. If she get with a guy who taking care of business, um, on his stuff, and doing everything he's supposed to be doing, that puts pressure on her. And a lot of these liberal women, they don't like pressure. When I say liberal, I'm not talking politics. I'm talking women who caught up with all of these different ideologies. They feminism, right? They all about making a man equal to a woman and thinking that anything a man can do, a woman can do. And I know I'm sliding, but this is the women who you see twerking on call. This is the women who you see best friend homosexual because they want to love and like and be accepted. They want to accept everybody and every type of lifestyle. This is the women who have ASE with the slat aside and believe in stones and ancestors and Wicca and all this evil stuff. This is the ones who say they don't believe in God or Jesus, but they believe they spiritual. These are the liberal women. These are the liberal women that I'm telling you about, right? They feminism. They AKA Jezebel spirit filled, right? So they love the thug. But anyway, going into this situation, I'm gonna let this video play, of course, and I want to show y'all the stuff that these. And I always tell people, man, teachers and police officers pay should start at $100,000 annually. It should start at that. The stuff that they have to deal with on an everyday basis. So let's play this video, and of course I'm gonna chime in.
Stop rolling on my damn window! Don't talk to me like that. I talk to you, I want you to leave. Alright guys, so I want to talk about this video that I stumbled across online that's going viral, showing a bunch of students. They appear to be middle school students, okay, they appear to be teenagers, on a bus, and one of the students appears to be taunting his teacher, who's on the bus, and trying to control their bad behavior, okay? The teacher moves to put up a window, and then there's one child that completely goes off on the teacher. And I think that once again we have examples of behavior that really shows us that we have a parenting crisis in this country. And I think that that is really the root of a lot of the issues that we have in this country, is that we have parents that are either not raising their kids at all, they're not in their kids' lives, or they're raising their kids to act like this. Take a look. Versus the Kingmaker. It's a goal to take your breath away. Telling you my name, cuz like I don't English. Stop rolling on my damn window. Don't talk to me like that. I talk to you, I want you to leave. Don't touch me, cuz.
I'm gonna show you something. We all as children, made or did certain things and was mischievous here and might have said a bad word there. But I'm gonna show you something. And I know this because I was raised in a 2-parent household. One thing my daddy didn't play with. My daddy wasn't too hard on everything. But one thing that he didn't play about was disrespect to authority. That's two things. That's one thing that my parents was not. They didn't play. You do not disrespect authority. Yeah, you're gonna get in trouble if you have a bad behavior issue, or maybe you're not doing your schoolwork to the best of your knowledge, putting your best foot forward. But if you disrespect a teacher, a police, or any type of authority, you was in big trouble in my house. And that comes from a structure and a disciplinarian, which the man brings, not the woman, right? And so you could tell that this young man, he is not being raised in his father is not a part of his life. And if he is, he's a degenerate and only see him at certain time when he probably wants some pussy or just every blue moon. But for the most part, he's not in his child's life on a daily basis, with especially of all children, girl or boy, need their father, but especially a young man. Because a young man is like a young lion. He has to be tamed by another man. About 10 years old, These days, probably around 8 or 9, there's nothing else the mother can do to teach the children or control them, especially once they start getting 10, 11, and getting hair on their nuts. They not listening to nothing the mother say, and the mother can do nothing to put them in. She can't even, her strength is not even matching there as far as trying to hurt them. So either she got to pick up something and try to hurt them to make them respect her, and that's still not gonna work. Um, it's nothing that they can do. And these are the individuals that they have in school, and the teachers got to put up with it. The police officers got to put up with it, which is they not. They gonna kill you, and other children got to put up with it because they do have children that are being loved at home, and they got to put up with guys like him. So let's finish listening to it.
I don't care. Don't talk to me like that. You gonna write me up? You gonna send me to RMC? Man, I don't care. Just let him know if he touched me or something. I don't care. I'm a different type of breed. Like who he think he is. It's me. It's me. It's Michael Borda, by the way. Michael Borda. Hey, bitch ass nigga. Yeah, get off the bus. Yeah, keep walking. Keep walking.
And I'm gonna show you another thing. These are the type of young men who got a bad future. If nothing don't happen, if somebody don't step into his life right now, he heading to prison or he gonna be in the obituary before he 21. And I'm gonna show you another thing. Um, these are the type of dudes that the girls like, right? And they do that to impress women because these younger women, they are attracted to that. Because why is that? That's what they're being raised by, a degenerate mother who likes that type of energy. So they'll listen to they all the rappers that they like. These NBA young boys, these type of rappers, they love them because that's what they represent. They don't like nothing of peace, nothing of serenity, nothing of quietness, nothing of order. This is what they like. Disorder, chaos, confusion, and demoralization. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense.
Yeah, so somehow, some way, 9, 10 years into the future, when this person is locked up in prison, they're gonna say it's the white man's fault, right? Somehow,
Let me
some way.
stop. Now I want to stop him right there. I want to stop him. I gotta stop him right there. And that's another reason why I made this channel. That's one of the main reasons why I made this channel because black people always seem not all, but most they always seem to bring white people in their foolishness. The white man has nothing to do with this except being on the opposite side of it in this situation. But the white man has nothing to do with this. Nothing at all to do with this. The white man did not tell his mother to bring him in this world with a degenerate who she knew was not going to be there to raise his son. The white man ain't got nothing to do with this. This channel is about being solutions based, solutions oriented, finding the solutions to our problems. And like I said, at the top of all of those lists is bringing back the nuclear family, reproducing with somebody who want to be a father, somebody who want to be a mother. Have a plan for your children. You doing bad, why would you bring children in this world? And if they just so happen to come, that's why I tell people, listen, man, you still got 5 years. If you bring a child in the world, say for you just got married, and you're not financially stable, and you want to bring children in the world, you could, if you know, I don't say you're supposed to be using the condom, and I damn sure don't support abortion. So if you married and you bring a child in the world while and y'all just got married and y'all young and y'all trying to stack money, you got a 5-year window because by the time that child is 5, he need to be staying in a good neighborhood and he need to be going to a good school. So you got 5 years from the day because them first 5 years, 2, 3, 4, he just a kid. He don't really understand nothing going on. He don't understand his area. He shouldn't be going anywhere without you anyway. So for him being in a neighborhood playing with certain children, that shouldn't be an issue. But by the time he's 5, he should know all he should see, whether it be at school or at home and outside his house, should be a good environment. But you can't do that when you raise a child on your own. But I'm going to say this too. So like I said, at the top of the list, in fixing the black community and the issue that we have to bring back the nuclear family. We have to preach that. And if you notice, none of these black Jesse Jacksons, Al Sharpton, members of the Democratic Party, not even Barack Obama, none of them preach that. All they preaching is the white man and systematic racism.
It was the white man's fault, and they will never, ever, ever point the blame at the household that this child is being raised in, because that is his future, right? That is his future. His future is criminal, okay? Thug, lawbreaker, okay? Because these are the type of behaviors that are shown in school of children who grow up to eventually become menaces to society, agents of chaos. Now, some people may think what I'm saying is harsh, but what I'm saying is true, right? When you have that much,
Ain't that something that's when people that we live in America today where when you speaking the truth it can come off as harsh or bashing. Ain't that something? Continue, brother.
lack of respect for authority, okay, lack of respect for adults, that ultimately turns into a lack of respect for the law, because these kids believe that nobody can tell them anything. Nobody can tell this kid nothing. That teacher rolled up the window, okay?
Exactly. I always say that's why a lot of black men, if not all, get killed by police because they were raised in single parent households where they don't respect the masculine principle, they don't respect authority, and so here it is. All they know is mama, 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 and so when they go into the world and they have running with the police and he's telling them what to do, he's yelling at them, they automatically get into their feminine, overly emotional mode and don't want to accept authority because they not used to no man hollering at them at home because they don't have a man in the home. But here this is a man hollering, especially the white man who they've been taught all their life is the enemy, which is not. They now, and the white man, whatever his issue is, he might be the enemy, he not. But guess what? He's not the problem. He's not holding. It's not his fault that the black man and the black woman is occurring in their current situation. It's their own fault. But what I will say is this here. That's why they getting killed because they don't have no black men hollering at them at home. They not used to that. So anytime anytime as a male teacher or anybody with authority, but a male teacher or a male police officer is yelling at them, giving them authority, they get overly emotional like mama, and it leads to them getting killed in most situations.
Because that student was probably acting a fool, right? Rolled up the window. The student immediately told the teacher, "Stop rolling up my damn window. Stop rolling up my damn window." He gave the teacher a command. Now, if the teacher would have put his hands on the student, I would have looked the other way and said, "Hey, you know what? Maybe we should have corporal punishment back in school." Right? I'm just saying. I'm not surprised that we're seeing a ton of videos nowadays where we have teachers getting in fights with these kids because these kids are out of control. They're out of control. I mean, just a few days ago, I did a video about a girl that maced her teacher because the teacher took a cell phone from her. Oh, mace? No, mace is crazy. Nah, mace is crazy. Nah, she just maced the nigga. Nah, I gotta go. Hold on.
Wow.
She just pepper sprayed me. Give me my phone. Give me my phone. Wait. Hey. Can I get my phone? I need my phone. Over the phone is crazy.
Just imagine this. This is not a movie, man. This is not, and I'm gonna play this again because I was gonna play this. I had another exhibit with this particular incident. This is not a movie that I'm telling you about that came out in Hollywood. This is real life. A girl sprayed a teacher, a person of authority, with pepper spray over a cell phone. This is not a joke.
I need my phone. I need my phone. Pepper spray. Okay, give me my phone. She said okay. Can I get my phone? No, you can't have your phone. Watch out, man. Don't go in there. Watch out. Don't go in there. I need my phone.
This is a young lady who she's gonna be a baby mama, She's gonna be, and I'm not. Listen, bro, this is a pro truth channel. So if you don't like what I'm saying, I know a lot of people gonna get mad. I'm saying, listen, this channel not for you. This is a female. Lesson, some kind of divine intervention comes into her life now, not tomorrow, not next week. Now she's gonna be a baby mama. She's gonna end up like Breonna Taylor. She's gonna date thugs, drug dealers, criminals, end up a criminal, have multiple children out of wedlock, live off the state, right? Potentially end up hurting your daughter that you raised well, right? This is what we talk. And guess what? Her parents, her grandparents, her aunties, uncles is gonna be talking about it's the white man's fault. No, 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 no. It's her mother's fault and the degenerate who brought her in the world. Maybe both of them was degenerate, the mother and the father. But this, she's gonna be a stripper. You know what I'm saying? This is who this young lady gonna be, unless and she get divine intervention today, not tomorrow.
And then you wonder why we have an education crisis in this country where you literally have students that are going to school, they're being babysat for 8 hours a day, and then they quite literally are learning nothing.
A stunning report from Project Baltimore showing the situation in some Baltimore City schools is dire.
Now, usually our Project Baltimore report comes in a little later in our newscast, but tonight we need to bring your attention to this report.
It's because it shows 23 city schools have 0 students who tested proficient on the state math exam. 2,000 students in total took this math test at these schools, and not one did math at a grade level.
Listen to those numbers. Where is the bell ringing for some type of crisis moment? My God.
This isn't a red siren. I don't know what is to say. This isn't working. We need to completely redo this.
Fox 45 News is demanding answers about that report from state and local leaders. Our team coverage begins with Project Baltimore and
That's because they on Instagram 24/7, TikTok, Facebook. Well, not the really younger generation on Facebook, but they on TikTok and Instagram all day from morning to night. They not in school learning, but they shouldn't even, these phones shouldn't even be allowed in school. If I was the president, phones will be took out of school. You cannot have a phone. They can be in your locker. You get fired. They get caught in your class. If they get caught in class, they get immediately took. If you got a problem there, you and your phone can leave the school now. Number one. Number two, every class would have either a military in there or a police officer in there. We would get this under control overnight. Let me be the president. But they don't want to get these things under control. Because why is that? These individuals is going, like I say, they're going to be baby mamas. They're going to be thugs. They're going to be in prison system. And they're going to further the narrative of destroying our community, right? Which is what benefits everybody else but us. And yet, our leaders, so-called black liberal pastors, not all of them, but some of them, who are hired hands and not true shepherds. And if you don't understand what I mean by is your pastor a hired hand or a true shepherd, I got a video on my channel specifying what I mean in that. But these liberal pastors that's hired hands and not true shepherds, these so-called members of the Democratic Party, including Barack Obama, who so-called care about the black community, these fake black leaders like Sharpton and Jesse Jackson, these so-called black athletes and black rappers and actors that so-called care, they not going to speak on none of this. They not going to say nothing about it because they living high off the hog, right? They bought and paid for, and they say what they told. It don't matter if it's destroying the people that look like them because it's making them rich, and they don't care about that. And nobody is saying nothing. Nobody is saying nothing about the issue that's going on in our community that's really affecting us. They worrying about the leaky faucet.
They're calling on someone to fix city schools.
As Chris Papps explains, his mother says major changes need to happen now or she's leaving.
You know, and then you have people who, because listen, man, I'm going to show you something. Barack Obama getting in office was a game changer, or could have been a game changer. That could have been a game changer. That man could have came in office, and instead of worrying about Black Lives Matter, the Black Lesbian Matter movement, and Trayvon Martin and all this foolishness, he could have came in there and said, see what happened when you do it the right way, get married, have a family, You see what happened? That's the first. That's my best success right now. My biggest success was marrying the right woman, doing the right thing, staying out of trouble, getting me an education. Cause education is not an end all be all for me. But some people, everybody can be business owners and trailblazers. Get your education. Barack Obama could have said, "Look, if you get your education, don't be a criminal, marry and get married and have your children, you can be the next president like me. You can do great things like me." But instead, he was in there telling people about systemic racism, Black Lives Matter, white supremacy, a whole bunch of nonsense. The leaky faucet once again.
For them, nothing. They go there to get babysit for 8 hours and come home.
Nichelle Watkins is exhausted.
I feel like they don't care. It's not their children. They don't care.
After years of pleading for help from Baltimore City Public Schools.
Look around. I'm in public housing. I can't afford.
So I wanna go back a few steps to hear what this woman saying, cause I just told you. See, that's what I be saying, bro. People think, listen. I want to go back to some of the things that she said. Now, the first thing she said, they go to school to get babysit for 8 hours. I agree. Then she followed that up by saying that they don't care. It's not their kid. Listen, ma'am. No one is supposed to care about your kids. You were supposed to care about them enough to to reproduce with a person who is not a degenerate. And if you living in public housing, that's the person you reproduce with was a degenerate. No way you should be staying in public housing with children, because why is that? You shouldn't be bringing children in this world if you staying in public housing. Listen, man, that's another reason why a lot of blacks under a curse. Listen, man, you can get $1 billion. You can have a successful business. You can do all kind of things. But if you fail as a parent, you failed at life. And failing as a parent meaning you did not give your children a fair shake. You did not get married before you brought those children in the world, or you did not bring those children in the world with a good person, a person who was the right. Now, sometimes we understand that sometimes marriages don't work, sometimes relationships don't work. But for the most part, these women are reproducing with the wrong reasons, so they don't care who they reproduce with. If it work, it work. If it don't, they don't. And a lot of these brothers is under a curse too for spreading their seed like that and not taking care of their seed. But listen, man, it's nobody's responsibility to love your children, to teach your children, because if you would have made the right decision, married the right person, or got married with the right person, and reproduced with the right person, then he would be a man taking care of the bills while you could be home being a teacher. Listen, my mama taught me. My mama was a housewife. My mama taught me and my brother at home count with money. She taught us reading, hooked on phonics. She taught us flashcards. She taught us all that before we going into school. The mother is supposed to be the first teacher. But these days, a lot of these women can't teach because they don't know nothing. All they know is a blunt. That's all they know, and some cheap liquor. But for the one that may have a little mind to teach their children, they can't, because they got to go work 16 hours to take care of all them damn children and the bills, because they don't have nobody to help them. So I want to rewind this real back and listen. And that's another thing I said. Remember what I told you? Remember what I said at the beginning? The black woman does not have the solution. This is what the black woman going to do. She's going to spill milk everywhere and get in front of the camera and cry. And then the white liberal is going to come act like he care and save her with his arm around her neck with a knife in his hand. Because what he going to do is try to ruin her kids, to make her feel like she don't need the black man, to hate the black man. And then she spills that over into the children, and you have the situation we have now. It's not no one. It's not no one. When you bring, nobody told you to bring children in the world. If you choose to bring children in the world, you are responsible for them. You and the man you create them with. If you choose a degenerate to inseminate you, well, guess what? It is what it is, and it's your fault. It's no one else's fault. The school board, the president, the mayor, nobody. Let's rewind this and see what she said, brothers.
There for them, nothing. They go there to get babysit for 8 hours and come home.
Michelle Watkins is exhausted.
I feel like they don't care. It's not their children. They don't care.
After years of pleading for help from Baltimore City Public Schools.
Look around. I'm in public housing. I can't afford no $1,000 tutor from Sylvan, but that's what he needs, a tutor. How was your school day?
Pretty good.
Her son is in 4th grade at Johnston Square Elementary. For years, she says she's been trying to get the school system to hold her son back, give him time to learn the material, instead of just pushing him through the grades. 5 months ago, in October, she even wrote Project Baltimore asking for help, saying her son is not getting the education he needs.
He can't read. He's in the 4th grade. How is he supposed to be productive if he can't read?
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Again, we have a total and complete education crisis in this country that nobody's really talking about. Democrat Party is completely not talking about it because, you know, teachers unions are a part of it, okay? And Republicans, they're definitely not talking about it enough. They definitely should focus more on this issue. But regardless, I see the education problem similarly to I see the crime problem, in the sense that we have to clean up bad apples, right? We have to completely remove them from that environment or the environments that they are poisoning in order to even begin to solve problems, right? When it comes to crime, you have to lock up and remove criminals from these neighborhoods, clean the streets up, before you can even begin to think about rebuilding these neighborhoods and bringing business and commerce to these neighborhoods, right? In school, you got to remove kids like that kid you just saw right there, okay, who probably is just as disruptive, just as bad in class as he is on the bus, okay? That behavior is probably typical. Kids like that have to be removed from school. Get them out of school. They're not interested in learning regardless. That kid is probably reading at a 1st grade level or something like that. He probably don't know how to read. He probably don't know how to write. He probably don't want to do math. He's not interested in learning anything, right? Just remove him from school. Get him out of school. Get the class clowns out of school. Get the disruptions out of school. Remove him from school. That way, you have less distractions, right? You can begin to really address some of the issues that you have in these schools, okay, with kids learning, because it's not all the teachers. Right, I think teachers get a little bit too much flack because there are good teachers. It's just impossible to teach in some of these environments, in some of these schools, because they become jungles. Okay, they're the wild, wild west. And you got to remove the agents of chaos. And you need to put the agents of chaos or the burden of educating these kids back on the parents, because the parents, again, have failed in their responsibilities of raising their child in a way in which they have respect for authority and adults and not to act like this at school in the first place. If they can't raise their child correctly, then, again, just force their child to be at home. That way, hey, the parents got to pay the price for it, right? You got to pay the price for it. Your child can't come to school and act right. They want to be disruptions. They want to, disrespect teachers like this. Some of these kids are just flat out violent, right? They're assaulting teachers, fighting teachers. All right, cool. Well, they're just not allowed to come to school. You got to educate them. So now they got to have money come out of their pocket. The parents got to have money come out of their pocket to now babysit or to educate their kid. Because again, regardless, they're not getting educated regardless, right? Again, the chances of that kid actually getting a quality education is slim to none. Don't matter, right? He's a lost cause. Sometimes you got to just accept. Some of these kids are lost cause because the parents haven't raised them right. And if the parents haven't raised them right, there's literally nothing you can do for them. Right? The parents had the first 5 to 10 years of the child's life to get them right. They couldn't do it. Some of these kids are lost. Right? You got to just cut your losses. Right? Cut your losses. And focus on the kids that are there that actually want to learn. Focus on rewarding the teachers that are actually performing. School choice. Okay? This is what we need. But again, a lot of this stuff starts with cleaning up these schools, getting the agents of chaos out of the schools the same way that you need to get the agents of chaos out of the streets. because they're agents of chaos, because we have a cultural and parenting problem in this country that has absolutely failed our youth, and this is why you're seeing these kids act that way. That child only acts that way because he's been raised to act that way.
Exactly.
And he's not being punished. He's not being told that you need to have respect for authority. Zero respect for authority. And he probably don't even respect his own parents.
Guaranteed.
No father in the house whatsoever.
Period.
And that's what you get. That's what you get. There's no doubt in my mind. He has no man in the house to show him that he's supposed to respect authority. Because otherwise you would never see something like that. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace. All right, man. Peace.
So I wanna let this one play as well. This is another good video I heard. This is kind of older video, but it's new to me. So I want to speak on what this brother is saying. You know, my mother is 65 years old. She'll be 66 in a couple months. My mother will not leave the house or go drop a mail to the post office without having her hair combed, decent, and nice clothes on. These women today, but you know, and it's something here about it. He gonna get off into this, but I'm echoing it now. You know, the way people dress says about everything about them. The way they carry themselves says everything about them. And you would be surprised in these black neighborhoods what you see at the black schools. The mothers going to the school in pajamas, rollers in their head, bonnets. I'm talking about looking a complete mess. Going to teacher, if they going to a teacher parent conference, they looking horrible. And I'm talking about this is young women between the ages of 35 and 45, and they just go to school looking any kind of way. You see it in the pickup, or you see it at the drop off. And you say to yourself, I mean, you serious? Come out of the house like that, especially as a woman? And so this black woman in, I think, Houston, if I'm not mistaken, you know, she set a dress code to the point where, look, if you come dressed like that, you're not welcome on this property. And I support her wholeheartedly. But we're going to let this brother talk about it, get in depth about it, and of course I'm going to chime in.
You know, brothers, if you've ever seen any photos from the 1910s, the 1920s, the 1930s, 40s, 50s, etc., if you pay very close attention, you'll notice that the children dress like their parents, meaning what? The young boy would wear slacks and a button-down shirt and maybe even a tie and a blazer, a lot like his father. The young girl would wear a long dress, maybe a bonnet, to mimic her mother. Well, after the 1950s and 1960s, there started to be a paradigm shift in accordance to or correlated with the CIA social engineering of the 1960s that involved LSD and other hallucinogenic drugs. And what started to happen is that adults started to become overly infatuated with youth. America started to embrace youth culture, and thereafter we've seen the effects of it. Now adults try to dress like children as opposed to children dressing like the adults. Well, this school principal in Texas is trying to do something about that. She has placed a dress code restriction on the parents of many of her students because it's very obvious that she can see some of the same things that I can see. The reason why so many of these children are so confused is because they're not getting any guidance in the home. The reason why they're not getting any guidance in the home is because their parents are more concerned with being peers of theirs as opposed to being guides of theirs. Because the clothes reflect the person. How you dress, your attire, reflects a lot about who you are as a person and what you're concerned with. So anyway, they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
Controversy over a new dress code for parents at a Texas high school. If they break the rules, they get kicked off campus. The principal of James Madison High in Houston is banning items like shower caps, hair rollers, pajamas, torn jeans, and uncovered leggings.
In other words, the principal's telling a lot of these hood rat ass parents, look, do not come to my school dressed up like you're in your backyard or like you're in your basement. Dress appropriately to try to convey a certain image for your children and for the other people who are going to see you. You have a responsibility as a parent when it comes to how you depict yourself. So good for her.
And I want to get once again interrupt this brother. And you know what's so crazy? This is the funny thing, and this was really like say they got an old saying, grinds my gear, it pisses me off. It's always a white man that's gonna always be brought into it. And I know now I didn't hear it, but I guarantee it was plenty of parents out there in that city, Houston, saying, "Oh, they don't do that they don't do it on the white side of town." You know why? Because white people gonna come to their school dressed any kind of way. For the most part, I'm not saying it never happened ever, but for the most part, those white people gonna go to their school because why is that? They represent their children. They represent their children. Some of these black parents go to school, the next day their children gonna get picked at because they gonna be inclined by how your mama was in a bonnet, your mama was in pajamas, your mama ain't look like she ain't even brush her teeth. Just looking horrible. I've seen it. I'm not telling you what I heard. I've seen it. These women go drop these children to school and pick them up any kind of way because they angry and they just look, they what's on the inside, it says how they dress and how they carry themselves. Now for the club or for some Negro, oh, they're dressed like they going, you think they about to get married, all the makeup and how they fix themselves up. But to drop their children to school to go to a parent-teacher conference, they go any kind of way. I've seen it, I'm not just talking.
During drop-off and pickup, also banned.
I remember when the style of women wearing leggings out in public first started to come into vogue, maybe like 12 or 13 years ago. And me and brothers would always say, soon these bros just gonna be coming out of their house butt-ass naked. Because you're trying to reveal everything. Basically, leggings are just tights that are meant to be opaque, meaning not see-through. So what else is there other than for you to just come out of your house butt-ass naked? And supposedly these women do not want to be evaluated based on sex. But once again, whenever the woman is allowed to project her own energy, she always leads with the sexual aspect. Always.
And low-cut tops, sagging pants, and revealing dresses.
Good for you, Principal. It's also a great thing to attack a lot of these dudes who want to sag their jeans and advertise their anus. If that's your own sexual preference.
Yeah, and that's another thing. You see some of these dudes, 30 in their 30s, 40, they going to school jamming NBA Youngboy. And I'm not saying nothing wrong with the music that you listen to, but they jamming NBA Youngboy, going to the school, dropping their sons or their daughters off, pants sagging, do-rag, just looking horrible. You know what I'm saying? And then you wonder why the children are what they are. The children are who raised them. The children are, because half of these dudes not in their children's life, they might get them for a weekend or something and drop the kid to school. Man, and you should see how they need music. You mean to, come on, brother, you mean to tell me you couldn't turn the music down for 5 or 10 minutes till you drop your child off? The roundabout, music loud, and if you go in the parent and teacher conference, you smell, I done seen you smelling like weed, you're sagging, just complete embarrassment, not only to yourself, to your woman, but to your children. Like, get it together, brother.
That's you, keep it to yourself. I don't need to see the crack of your ass, man. Pull up your damn pants. When you read the scriptures in Job, the 38th chapter, the Most High states, gird up your loins like a man. You put on a pair of pants, you have a belt on. You have on a pair of sweatpants, you cinch it so that your backside is covered. Nobody wants to see your ass crack. I'm not quite sure why people don't grasp that. If you're going to walk outside with your pants hanging off your ass, that means that there's a lack of respect that you have for others, and you're probably sagging in your daily life. Your pants are a bit of a reflection of your life. If you're probably sagging your pants, you're probably sagging in your life. You're not up to snuff when it comes to how you handle your responsibilities in life.
She said that my headscarf was out of dress code and my...
That's not a headscarf.
Look. Oh, I gotta rewind. Look how she talking. Look at her mannerism, and just the fact that she's a young. They might have some. If you seen the older ladies in their 70s or 80s. My mama don't do that. She's 65. But I'm saying you seen older ladies, older grandma. They might have their little head wraps on, their little scarves. But this woman you can see is not even probably 30 years old. And she got this head wrap on her head looking stupid. Then, of course, the liberal black woman got the neck movement. Just check it out. Let's round this a little bit, bro. This don't make no sense. It's an embarrassment to the whole race, the whole culture.
Reflection of your life. If you're probably sagging your pants, you're probably sagging in your life. You're not up to snuff when it comes to how you handle your responsibilities in life.
She said that my headscarf was out of dress code and my...
That's not a headscarf. That's a slave scarf. No disrespect, but you look like you need to be out in someone's plantation with that damn shit on your head. Talking about, Master, it's almost ready. The food almost ready. Like, come on, have a little pride. A lot of so-called parents do not understand the importance of the image that they project of themselves when it comes to how the child looks at themselves. There's an epidemic in America today of young children committing suicide, and they're trying to blame the bullies in school. And yes, that is partly to blame. Sometimes it is the bullying that's going on in these schools for why these children are killing themselves. But what's even worse is that when they're getting bullied in school, they're coming home to a parent that has nothing to offer them, nothing to tell them, nothing to inform them about or to empower them with. It's just another person who had a child and has no idea why they had the child. Or maybe they had the child for a nefarious reason, like trying to get money from someone or trying to get someone to stay with them, and now they're stuck with the child because their plot and their plan backfired, it didn't work, and they're not parent material. There are a lot of people.
I echoed a lot of this earlier. Having children for they like pets, for somebody to love them unconditionally, or like he said, like I aforementioned earlier in the video, for financial reasons, whether it be from the government, whether it be from food stamp, whether it be from income tax return bracket, whether it be from a person who they chose to trap, whatever it may be. They bringing these children here for the wrong reason, and of course they putting a curse on themselves, the children, and they will pay either here or in the afterlife, or both.
People out here having children who are not parent material. And if you're someone who's going to go to your child's school with that on your head, I have to wonder about some of the other things that are going on in your mind.
Exactly.
But then my dress was too short. This is a failing school. You have other things to worry about than my attire.
Well, I have news for you, ma'am. If the school is failing, it's probably because the parents are doing as poor a job as you believe the teachers are doing. This notion that certain schools are so bad and so poor, brothers, at the end of the day, all of these institutions are Saturnian. When you send a child to a school, you already know what they're going to learn. It's your job to be as invested in the education of your child as the teachers are. You have to make sure that you're informed about what your child is learning and how well they're grasping what they're learning. And these children are coming from convoluted, confusion-filled environments, and they're bringing that same mentality into the school system. They're bringing a lot of confusion into these schools. The teachers don't know how to handle it. The children are failing, and then the parents want to blame the school as opposed to blaming their own confused environment. Once again, so-called black man, the solution is within us. It's not about blaming the schools or blaming the so-called white man, so on and so forth. Of course, they do what they do to try to take our people off of the path that we need to be on in order to improve. But once we're cognizant of that, that means that we have to try to avoid those little silly stumbling blocks. And a lot of what goes on in the school system is based on people who don't want to learn. A lot of our people are scared to learn because then it's going to put pressure on our people to become successful. And as long as we don't try to put our best foot forward to learn things, then we can say to ourselves, well, I never knew it. Well, you had the chance to learn it, you just did not want to learn. And everyone knows that in the so-called black community, intelligent children are castigated by those around them. The brightest lights within the so-called black community are often dimmed by the people who should be trying to push them forward towards some type of success or greatness.
The principal, Carlotta Otley Brown, also implemented a parental dress code at her previous school, which won a National Blue Ribbon award, that is, from the U.S. Education Department.
Well, good for you, ma'am. I'm glad that you're doing what you're doing. You also seem to have on a bit of a V-neck, so maybe you want to tighten that up a bit. It reminds me of that film Lean On Me, starring Morgan Freeman, where, remember, the main antagonist of Morgan Freeman in that film was the so-called liberal black woman. Remember that? Played by that trout mouth black woman, that black actress that's always in those movies with that trout mouth trying to antagonize everyone. She's great as an antagonist. And they were just letting you know that when you're a so-called black man, or even a so-called black woman who's trying to restore some type of order, our own people are always going to come against us because of what? They love confusion. A lot of our people love confusion because it allows them to feel like less of a failure. So we have to come against that notion and against that energy. But anyway, that's basically it on that. Peace. All right.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to a few exhibits of these. Also, that was the first video, was of a few exhibits of the children that are coming out of these corrosive, demoralized, 70% raised by mother matriarchal households without a father. Let's go check out some of the exhibits.
First of all, a lot of y'all kids have no home training. Parenting begins at home. And I know many of you are alarmed. You're thinking the teacher didn't have on any underwear, but she did. She had on thongs. Her husband confirmed on Facebook that his women wear Victoria's Secrets, not Bloomers. Funny what type of things become important in difficult times.
Wow. Amazing. Let's go to another one. Y'all seen a little bit of this one already.
Mace is crazy. Nah, Mace is crazy. Nah, she just faced it. Nah, I gotta go. Hold on. No. She just pepper sprayed me. Give me my phone. Give me my phone. Wait. Hey. Can I get my phone? I need my phone. Over the phone is crazy. I need my phone. I need my phone. Okay, give me my phone. She said okay. Can I get my phone? No, you can't. Watch out, man. Watch out. Don't put that bitch like that shit. I need my phone. I need to get my phone. That's my phone. Can I get my phone?
Acting like a rockhead who ain't got no dope. A heroin addict who ain't shoot up over a phone. Then pepper sprayed the teacher. That is a simple assault that she just caught behind a cell phone. I'm not done though. Let's continue. Of the children that are coming out of these homes with these angry, overly emotional parents who protrude that and impose their will on the children, or not parent, let me take that back. These angry and overly emotional single black mothers, right? 70% of our children are being raised in these type of environments, and they protrude and they impose those overly emotional, angry vibe spirit on their children, and this is what their children goes to the schoolhouses and does.
By authorities. The boys boarding that school bus Monday and pushing past the bus driver and an aide on board. One juvenile carrying a semi-automatic pistol. According to police, the gunman put the gun to the chest of a middle schooler and repeatedly tried to shoot, but the gun was jammed. So the gunman used it to beat the victim, who survived with cuts and bruises. Police say the attackers then ran. This grandmother of middle schoolers said she lives in the neighborhood.
I'm just not understanding how these kids getting guns and stuff.
Do you fear for these children?
I fear for the kids and us as well. Because what if a adult would have stepped in and tried to stop it and the gun didn't jam?
Both the bus driver and the aide on board during the incident are so terrorized they've taken leave, according to fellow driver Martin Diggs, who's president of the union local representing drivers.
But they're afraid to come out of the house because the suspects that got on the bus, their faces were covered. So they don't know who these people are. This particular issue that happened on the school bus is one incident of many incidents.
Diggs said school employees are constantly threatened with injury because of an epidemic of fighting on buses and in schools. Diggs said the student who was targeted attended the non-traditional middle school program at Edgar Allan Poe School in Suitland. Diggs noted the school system has cameras in the majority of its bus fleet. It's too late.
Boy, you can see how that was a traumatic situation for everybody, from the adults on the bus to the school to the middle schoolers. Just awful. By the way, Prince George's County schools issued a statement saying that administrators are horrified by the incident, but they are grateful that no lives were lost. They say they will not talk any further because an investigation is underway.
Now, this is, I mean, this is, you know, when I first seen this story of some middle schoolers, I just couldn't even believe it. But this is what's happening in the black community. And like I always say, one of my main issues is that instead of trying to find solutions to fix these issues, we blaming the white man and our so-called leaders and people who supposed to tell us, look, it's not the white man, it's you. They not saying that. You're not going to see no press conference of Al Sharpton, Benjamin Crump, Barack Obama, none of these big mouth LeBron James, who seem to always have. You're not gonna see none of them say anything. You're not gonna see none of them say, you know what, we need to stop this. We need to raise our children in a 2-parent home. We need to teach our children to love each other, especially if they look like them, meaning other black children. They not gonna say. You're not gonna hear Sharpton on this. You're not gonna hear Jesse Jackson speak on this. You're not gonna hear Benjamin Crump speak on this. A lot of these fake black pastors, not all of them, but a lot of them, these fake black leaders, members of the Democratic Party that just so-called love and care for the black man, Kamala Harris, Michelle Obama, Big Mouth, the fallen Messiah, Barack Obama. You're not going to hear none of them speak on this. These 3 situations that I just told you was all black children, had nothing to do with the white man, besides the fact that the white man was on the butt end of each one of those situations that I showed you earlier. You're not going to hear none of them speak on this. If they were speaking on these type of issues, being that they have voices and platform, it would, I'm not saying this thing would go away, but it would have a positive effect. But yet, when they get an opportunity to speak, it's police brutality. It's the white man. It's white supremacy. And our people, for the most part, is still buying this. That's what killed me. How are y'all still buying this? How are y'all not saying to y'allself, wait, something ain't right. Y'all BSing us at this point. Y'all BSing us at this point. So y'all not gonna say nothing about this. But if it had been a white kid going on the bus and did it to the black kid, then y'all gonna be outraged. But because it was black on black, y'all not gonna say nothing. I can't believe black people is still buying this, right? But all those the situations that I just told you about all these last 3 exhibits that I presented to you. Let's see the people who raised it. Now I'm about to show you, and I know these women. I've dated these women. I have these women in my family. These are the type of women that's raising them. Let's go to that. These are the women. This is the woman. She's working at some restaurant or whatever, right? And of course, she's probably working a lot of hours. And I don't know this woman. I'm just, it's a good chance she got children. No father. She don't take care of her body. She don't take care of nothing dealing with beauty as a woman's supposed to. And she just a walking ball of anger. And these are the women who are raising your children, black man. These are the women of the children that I just showed you. These are their parents right here. Let's play it. And of course you have the liberal, wigger, white girl trying to be the savior. Instead of minding her own business, right? Or being a manager or whoever she is and trying to get the black girl that worked for her to calm down. She's the wigger white girl, the liberal wigger white girl who wants to be on the black person's side, who just so happened to be her co-worker and help her out. And her dumb behind going up getting a situation too, which is not going to be on camera, but the person who was, all of this was recorded. And this woman, and that's another thing I want to say. This woman in the red hoodie, I don't know whether she was right or wrong, but she was a customer, so that makes her automatically right, number one. And for two, if she have any kind of sense, right, she can sue this place for a lot of money. 2 employees attacked her, number one. And the fact that they came from behind the counter and even tried to fight her, she could sue that place. That's why I tell brothers and I tell people all the time, when you work for a corporation, I don't care if it's a big corporation or a small corporation, just like the Ja Morant situation. And I'm going to speak a little bit about that real fast. A lot of people are making a big deal out of Ja Morant saying, well, he was at his house in his car with his illegal gun. That's not the issue. When you represent a corporation, you can't do certain things. This is why I speak rulership. This is why I speak ownership to my people, because they need to own their own stuff and they wouldn't have to worry about certain situations. If you work for Walmart and you leave Walmart and you go down the street, you can go to your house If you get into it with somebody and you are recorded by attack, even if somebody punch you in your mouth, you know what I'm saying, and you attack and you protected yourself and end up winning and end up coming out on top. If you record it in a Walmart vest, that person can sue Walmart. They can't, even if they can't file criminal charges on you because you attacked them first. They may lose that case, but they can file civil assault against Walmart because one of their employees inflicted bodily harm on them or whatever the situation may be, whether they was in the right or in the wrong. And especially another thing I tell people all the time: be careful what you post, especially if you're in corporate America. Because if you're in corporate America, they have people, I forgot the name of them, but their job is to vet the people who work there and vet the people they hiring on. What does that mean, vet? They check your Instagram, they check your Facebook, they check all of your stuff and see what you represent, what you stand for, your beliefs. And this can be reason for determination. This can be reason for termination, and it also can be a reason or a reason to hire or unhire. But let's finish this video to show you these are the women who are raising your children. You telling me these women got something to teach a child? Give me a break. This should have never happened. This should have never happened over whatever it was. If it was a situation where, it was a mess up with a meal or anything like that there, the customer should say, you know what, you're right, I'll go somewhere else. And the workers had no business, no matter what the situation is, talking to a customer in that way. Because they angry already, remember what I said? They angry, overly emotional, and they impose that on the children. But because of they angry and overly emotional, you have situations like this come out. And like I said, once again for the 100th time, these are the women who are raising your children, black man. These are the children who raising children, put them in the community. And that's why I say, it's a time for constructive criticism that may come off as harsh or bashing, but it's a time for that and it's time for not, because a lot of these children that grew up to be thugs and grew up to be criminals, they didn't even get a fair shot. They didn't even get a chance. So you got to realize, like, they killing each other and they doing all this stuff, but they don't know no better. And they can't learn no better because the people that's in power that's supposed to be teaching them better is telling them it's the white man and it's systematic racism and it's white supremacy. Wiggle white girl, embarrassing to her race. Stomachs hanging all, I'm talking about just a complete embarrassment. Stomachs all over the place, both of them over, like this don't make no sense. And then you see these older white people sitting there, which is, who cares about, I'm saying it to say, this is not about, we got to impress the white man or not impress him. But I'm saying, y'all love to, a lot of black people, liberal black, they love to run to the internet, running their family, and every time they open their mouth, it's about white people this, white people that, white people this, white people that. But this is what they see, whether it be from them seeing it on a Facebook, whether they see it on YouTube, or whether they in person and see it. This is why they don't want y'all around. It's not that they always racist. People don't want to be around this type of activity. I don't want to be around it. If I see certain type of individuals at certain type of areas, I turn and go the other way.
Heather, get out of it. They on the after. They on the after.
Oh, she told y'all to get the fuck out. We ain't got to pay. Yeah. Did y'all know the police finna be on the way up here?